Okay, story time while I do some laundry. So, this happened a while back. This happened in 2024, but it's kind of a crazy story. So, I was driving, I was coming off of the highway, and you know how sometimes when you come off of the highway, there is like a stoplight. So, there was a stoplight, and I was stopped because the light was red, and I was going to turn right. Well, the light turned green, and before I could go, I got rear-ended, right? And so I got rear-ended, and the boy, he looked quite young to me. Turned out he was like a sophomore in college, but he looked like he could have passed for a sophomore in high school. So we pull over into this middle school parking lot and get out, and he's really apologetic and really nice, respectful, whatever. And so he's looking for his insurance card, and he could not find it. And I can tell he couldn't find it just because of how he was acting. And then he made a phone call. Then his kind of face kind of changed, and then he was like, "Excuse me, I'm gonna go sit in my car." So he got in his car, and so I was assuming that it was a parent like fussing at him or something, and turned out that was probably the case. Well, I called the police to get an accident report or whatever. So, and I had this car for I got this car in 2023, so it hadn't been a year yet at this time. So we are waiting on the police, and then this white truck pulls up, and a man gets out, and I thought maybe it was like an unmarked police car or something, because they have those around here. Well, the man gets out, he walks up to me, and it's like right in my face, and he starts like pointing and yelling, "This is your fault. This is your fault. I know what happened. I see you all do this all the time. You start driving, and then you put on your brakes, and then you cause an accident. This is not our fault. This is not our fault." Like, he was going like bananas, right? And I'm like, "Well, you need to back up off me." So I pushed record on the phone, so you could hear, I could have like audio of his voice. And I was like, "You need to back up off me. Like, I don't know what your problem is, but clearly your child hit me from behind, and in this state, that is all that matters." And I was like not even moving, so I couldn't have put on my brakes because I was not even moving. Like, we were at a red light, and the light turned green, and he went before I went and hit me. So that was the end of that. And so I look over, and the boy, he looks like mortified. Like, he is like, it's like he knew that was going to happen, but he had no choice but to call to try to get the insurance card. Well, the police come. It was a police lady, and I told her like how he was acting or whatever. And so she told him to like basically stay in your lane, stay over there. You don't need to come over here. I'll come to you. And so she's talking, and then she's asking them for their insurance, and he's like, "I have insurance, I just don't have a card." And she's like, "Well, that's in essence, you don't have insurance because you can't prove it. Like, do you have an app? Can you pull it up on your app?" And he was like, "No, da 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 da. Well, I'm telling you I have insurance." And she's like, "Again, like, that does not that does not matter, right?" And so she said, "Well, I'm going to go ahead and get her information then and give you some more time to come up with it." So she does that. She gets my information. And then she goes back over there, and she says, since she comes back to me and says, "I'm going to give them till noon tomorrow. And if they don't have it, then I'm going to finish the report and write it as he's uninsured." So I'm like, "Okay." And then in the meantime, when she was having that conversation with me, the man's wife called and gave them the information over the phone. So yeah, it was crazy, but he was like real up in my face, and like, I don't know what he thought he was getting ready to do. But the funny part was, I had called my friend after he had like backed off, and she was up there like in like 2 seconds. Like, shout out to Ruby. She was up there in 2 seconds, like she was the Batmobile or something. But yeah, so that is the story time for today, and I'm going to get going on this laundry. Like and subscribe.